welcome to Pine Rivers in Brisbane, where the visiting Irish team is enjoying what passes for winter in this part of the world. It's a glorious day in Queensland. Hi, I'm Steve Rebillard for ABC Sport, and this peaceful scene will become a battleground for the next 3 matches between Australia and Ireland. There will be pairs, singles and triples, as is our usual format, and let's see who's lining up for both countries in the pairs. A different look to the Australian pairs lineup. South Australia's Andrew Smith, joined by Gary Willis from the ACT. Mark McPeak will lead for the Irish pair. His skip is Gary Scott. Well, former world champion Ian Schuback joins me for the match. And Shuey, different lineup, and we're outdoors. All bets are off.
Yes, Steve. No Steve Glasson, no Rex Johnston. Very hard to pick. Gary Willis, first time playing for Australia and skipping. It's a big ask.
And there's been some concern in the last 24, 48 hours about how fast this rink is. What do you think today?
It's quite quick here, something the Irish are not used to. They're playing outdoor bowls at home at the moment on very slow greens, 15-second greens, quite fast, very difficult for the Irish team.
Let's have a look at the conditions of play. It'll be 2-bowl pairs played over 21 ends. The players will need to be mindful of the 30-second shot clock, but 40 seconds will be allowed for the changeover. There'll also be no limit for the skips on their final bowl. The jack will be respotted on the rink if sent out of bounds, so there'll be no dead ends. Well, about 20 minutes north of the Brisbane CBD, you'll find this wonderful club at Pine Rivers. And it's been in this location for the last 21 years. It was down the road, established in 1948. And they're all set here. A good roll-up of members and visitors to watch Australia and Ireland. Mark McPeak, first on the mat. Rarely has he played on a surface as quick as this one. Possibly not as fast as it has been in their warm-up days.
Mark, yet.
I'll be hoping to adjust quickly. That's not a bad beginning from Mark McPeak. Still at the moment, but it may get a little windy later in the contest. And Andrew Smith for Australia, looking to make the most of this representative opportunity. So Mark from the Belmont Club, he's got some good results behind him. A champion in triples and fours indoors a couple of years ago. Champion of champions, runner-up
not bad.
Belfast this year, and British Isles fours champion in 2001 also. And Andrew Smith, his opponent from the Grange Club in Adelaide. 5 Adelaide Masters singles titles. Bit of hometown knowledge, he says, when he just dismisses that achievement self-effacingly. Champion of champions singles winner in 2000, state singles winner 97 and 2000. A man who's been pushing for national selection on and off for many, many years. And here's another chance for him to impress selectors as we view the Commonwealth Games just less than 12 months away now. Good roll up here. And the club at least will protect the rink from some breeze. Gary Scott was here last year, viewers might remember. And from the Bangor Club, which is also where he lives. Irish fours champion way back in 1990. And pairs champion as late as 1999. And Northern Ireland Bowls Association championship team that competes against the 3 other regions for the right to represent Ireland, and he's done well in that a couple of times. Gary Willis, Western Creek in the ACT. Trans-Tasman under-25 rep for a number of years. State pairs champion.
Right line, mate.
Australian pairs runner-up in 2000.
Well, Steve, that was Gary Willis's first bowl for Australia. He must be nervous. Had the line. Huge difference playing in the senior level compared to the under-25 national side. Gary Willis has a skip for Australia. It's 2 down. Maybe even 3.
Charlie Hayes is holding 3 discs,
Give now, mate.
ready to show. And what has Gary Willis got to say about this end? Can he get in there, reduce the count?
Good effort, mate.
And now Andrew Smith circles their head. Rolls one out.
Take one,
And they need the measure in the first end. Well, Charlie Hayes it is doing the measuring, not Gary Scott.
One down, mate.
1 it is to the visitors. Good start, and Charlie Hayes quickly sorts it out. 1 green 1. And the crowd expectant. What will they get from this new Australian combination? What about from Mark McPeak, making his first visit, I think, Shuey, to Australia?
Yes, Steve, he's a specialist lead to young Mark. So we saw on that opening end he had the better of Andrew Smith. Conditions really quite foreign to Mark. He's never played on a green as fast as this one at Pine Rivers. Only had 2 days of practice. That is nowhere near enough at the international level to perform at your best. Andrew Smith, 15-second green, quite fast. Similar pace to what he's used to back home in Adelaide.
Well played, mate.
Very warm day at Pine Rivers.
Lay, Mark.
We feel, Steve, the battle of the leads, we say so often in 2-bowl pairs, is all important.
Yeah, let him again, mate. I like that.
Andrew Smith, he'll be feeling a little bit more comfortable on this end. He's holding 1. Has just over 1 metre of room to draw a second shot.
On again. Come on, Smart. Well played. Well played.
Well, there he is. Corks, and I haven't seen too many flies around today, Shuey, but if they do arrive, he's well prepared.
Well, Pine Rivers is on the outskirts of Brisbane. I don't think it's the outback, but...
That's a corker of a hat, isn't it?
Needs the hat today. It's very warm. Gary Scott, he's under pressure. Irish skip, 2 down. Have a look at his technique later on. It's not conducive to generally good bowls on a fast green.
Nail it.
Gary Willis, 3rd bowl for Australia. He's had 1 end to settle the nerves. A very talented young player. Indication, Steve, that the selectors' faith in Gary Willis so young, and Andrew Smith, he skips for South Australia to put Andrew leading. Gary Willis, beautiful draw shot on the backhand.
That's a nerve settler, isn't it? Also, his lead will take a bit of pressure off him, Shuey, with a nice opening from Andrew Smith there. Smut, as you'll hear him called throughout the match by his teammate. Long-time nickname of Andrew Smith.
Hurry, son.
It's a short hop from Smith to Smut.
Make another one. Yeah, for...
Well, that's a good try from Gary Scott, just failing with half a metre. Still 3 down.
Gee, chance for a maximum count here for the Aussies to answer the opening score from Ireland and to take the lead. No. How tight is that right hand, forearm, upper arm, shoulder of Gary Willis?
Good indication here, Steve, how Gary's state of mind is. He's just drawn the perfect shot. He knows he's holding 3. Almost a free kick under the post here for Gary Willis. If he's relaxed, he'll draw a 4th.
Give a bit now, mate.
Maybe if he fails, he's still a few nerves.
Here he comes. Here he comes,
It's
Gazzo. Well
trying.
played.
That's good enough. Best of the lot. And the Australians waltz away with 4 shots in the second end. And they'll take that every time. 4-1 after 2. Well, you couldn't ask for kinder conditions, really. And Pine Rivers our second visit here for a series like this. The club does a grand job of hosting the event too. Last year, the Irish boys won the triples, as I recall, but Australia won the international, 2 matches to 1. Mark McPeak.
Oh, Mark. Yeah, up there, man.
That's a good effort from McPeak. Andrew Smith, he needs to lose 2 metres.
Very similar length, Steve, to what was played on the first end of the match. Just about 30 metres.
Want to sit him.
Lucky result for Andrew Smith.
Yes, indeed.
Very good technique, Mark McPeak. There's a little tendency to bend the elbow a little bit on the follow-through, and the follow-through goes quite high. That's a reason of playing on slow greens.
Come on, up yet.
Back home. Oh, this is wonderful bowling from the young Irish lead. That's an indication of the conditions at Pine Rivers. Absolutely perfect. No breeze to speak of. Green is a little bit of a worry for the Irish. Very fast to what they're used to back home. Even their indoor surfaces would not be as quick as this green at Pine Rivers. Running just about 15 seconds at the moment. Young Australian skip. It's on the mat, 1 down.
I wonder how he slept last night, Gary Willis. It's one thing playing under 25 for your country, but this is the ultimate honour.
Yes, Steve, he's still suffering a few nerves, and that's understandable. Huge honour.
Great to see Bowls Australia bringing through the young players. And Gary Scott. Aircraft
Very son.
mechanic, engineer.
Well played, Gary.
There's no doubt the Irish are drawing better in this direction than the other way. And once again, Gary Willis, a little bit of pressure, 2 down. Always a good sign to see the player chase the bowl. He must like the bowl out of the hand.
Touch, mate. Touch, shot.
A little shout from Andrew Smith, a smile from Gary Willis, and a good result. But it will be the Irish lads with last bowl.
At the moment. 2 seconds, Gary.
Nice rub there. Little nip on the jack. Smiles all round, at least amongst the Australians.
Interesting shot selection here, Steve. The shot bowl, the Australian bowl, if that was to be removed off the rink, Ireland would be holding 2. The only other shot is to trail the jack back here or just rest the bowl with a metre of weight. The easier shot is to go straight for the Australian bowl, flat out. 2 seconds.
Gary Scott. Can he clean up something here? Need some luck. Oh, now, yes, he has got some kind of a result there. What will it be? Just a slight smile there, almost apologetic. He knew he was a little bit lucky, but he's picked up 2 shots. Well done, Gary Scott. Had a run at it and picked up 2. So that draws it back to a 1-shot game. 4-3 Australia. Well, it's a good life in the corporate area. If you can score yourself a little invitation down there, sitting under the umbrellas. Refreshments delivered to the door. And very close handy to the action. Good match unfolding here. 4-3 Australia. 3 ends played.
Mark
McPeak on the mat.
On that.
For the visitors.
28 metres rolled, Steve, and this was the length that they just lost to 4 on the previous end in this direction.
What were they thinking?
It's a brave move to lose 4 shots and then 2 ends later have the mat and roll that same length. Andrew Smith, he's got a pretty good line, maybe a shade overweight. Mark's follow through here. Has a tendency to take the hand right up head height. So,
Come on, Mark.
might have trouble holding
Come on,
them back
son.
on the short ends.
Yeah, up that.
Oh, that's beautiful
Well,
bowling.
Yeah, up there.
Well played. That was pretty poor imitation, but Gary Scott's quite pleased with his teammate, Andrew Smith. But heavy coming this way.
Hold that. Up that, man. Hold. Hold. Come on.
Just wanted it to
Good
hold
shot,
a
mate.
little more, but
Good shot, Kev.
just falls out. An island holding, one would think, from that angle.
Come on.
Crowd's in for a great day here.
He will not be trying in his mind to trail the jack. A little shake of the head. He's not happy.
Gary's unusual, isn't he, Sheen, that he really only plays outdoors back home. And of the British and Irish players we've come to know over the years, it makes him one out of the box.
Yes, and the indoor greens are a lot quicker than the outdoor, and Gary doesn't play indoor bowls at all, so these conditions are totally foreign for him.
Nice, Gary.
Gary Willis played the backhand and drew two beautiful shots on the previous end in this direction. Now he's on the forehand.
Good played.
Still one down.
It's a lay, Gary.
Watch this big long step, very awkward stance on the mat, bent over. Does not keep the body that still at the point of delivery.
Come on,
He's
son.
a tall man. He'd be 6'1" or 2" in the old
Right in.
scale. 187, something like that.
Very, very soft.
centimetres.
Yeah, turn him once, mate. 3.
Green disc bowl at 3 o'clock. That's the target that just heard Andrew Smith say, turn the Irish bowl once and Australia will be holding 3. So Gary Willis, tighter line, just arriving. Plan B would be to trail the jack.
Looks to be
Lovely
narrow.
weight, mate.
And that might have tied it all up. That looks like a shot to Ireland. It is indeed. And right it in, folks. 4 all after 4 ends. Good match. Mark McPeak playing with confidence. 4 shots to the good of Australia. This is the 13th of 21 ends.
Yeah, good start, Mark.
Mark at the Belmont Outdoor Club and at the Belfast Indoor Club.
Well, Andrew Smith turns his back. It really is a wayward opening bowl. There's no wind at all. Sure, the green is very fast, but ideal
Name it.
conditions. Just a question
Oh,
of
Mark.
finding the right line and concentrating, thinking as much as you can about getting the right weight.
Hard enough, man.
Lured into following Andrew Smith's bowl. Mark McPeak with his second. Now, Andrew
Catching him, mate.
needs some adjustment. He's frustrated. The game isn't happening for him.
Come on, Andrew. Come on, mate. Good shot here.
Where's my good game? He says, I can play better than this. Ah, now you're talking, Andrew. That's the one.
Great shot.
Play me second one first, I think.
I don't know which one to play first.
Well, you've got to try and release that tension, haven't you? If you can find something to smile about, a little bit of the tightness out of the arm. You rolled up some days, Shuey, and you thought, why can't I play today? Why isn't it happening?
It's all about correction, Steve, and when you get frustrated, if you're not playing as well as you know you can play, it's very important to keep the mind on the job, is just concentrate on line and length, 2 basic requirements, and quite often players, it's a good bowl coming in here, will it turn at the death?
Very good effort, Gary.
Wonderful try, Gary Scott. it's very important not to be thinking too much about how poorly or how better you can play. Concentrate on the line, look at the line you're playing, and think about the weight. Don't think about the scoreboard or what if, or the selectors are watching. And this is my first time for Australia.
In you come, Gazzo.
This is more like the Gary Willis we know. Wonderful bowl. Maybe a juicy target for Gary Scott, however. Has been keen to attack. Might just come up and ask Mark permission to go flat out at this bowl.
Well, I think looking at the signal from Mark before Gary left the mat, he said, yeah, have a go, run through it.
So Josh, smack it. I'd smack it. You're not going to try it.
Draw or smack it. That means go flat out and hit that nearest bowl to the jack or the jack. Ireland have the best back bowl, bottom of screen, so if the jack is sent off the rink, it will be respotted, and Australia should be one down, but with one to play.
Oh, gee, he's been fairly accurate with his drives till now, Gary Scott, but Australia holding 2.
Yeah, mate,
I
same bowl.
tried to break that jack in half. He really went flat out.
Australia holding 2. They won't want to give anything back here.
About the right angle again, mate. Drop anchor.
Final bowl of this end.
Come on down. Come on down, mate.
It's having a look. Fall in and maybe.
Great try, mate.
Good try, but I don't think so.
Yep.
It's 2. A handy 2. A needed pickup for Australia there. And that's Ireland 14-12 now.
What do you want to do, mate?
Let's try something different. Bring it up a couple of yards.
14-12 Ireland. Jack again on the tee as they come towards the clubhouse, but Andrew Smith this time, Shuey's brought the mat a few more metres up the rink. They want to try something different. That last long end didn't favour them coming this way.
No, Steve, put the mat up. Well, it's a wonderful start from Andrew Smith. Good tactics. They know they're struggling. Brought the mat just over 5 metres up the rink. Still playing to a pretty good length jack of about 29 metres. Very good tactic, this, from Australia.
Have a try, mate.
Come on.
Up it, mate.
Generally, over the years, when you're playing against bowlers from the United Kingdom,
Good lines against,
in
butter.
Australia, you would play short ends, especially on a fast
mate.
green, as we have here at
Come on,
Pine
Smart.
Rivers, rather than
shots
the
here.
long ends.
Sit out. Well played. Brilliant shots, mate. Brilliant shots.
There's a local.
Fred Mercer, embroidered on his shirt. Very good, the club shirts at Pine Rivers, not only having their club colours, but members' names embroidered on their shirts.
Oh, got a couple of good rolls. It's reduced the count to 1 for Australia.
Oh, it's not Fred Mercer. My eyes deceived me, Steve. It's Fred, anyway. Short ends, fast green, suit this type of technique. Nice short step, stays down, very low. It's a very short, compact
weight, mate.
delivery. Had the weight, but just missed the line. Now, let's see if Gary Scott can hold this bowl back. Have a look at Gary's length of step. Well, he's shortened the step. Has the back leg pretty straight.
Come on, Gary. Hurry. Hurry, son.
Wonderful attempt.
You just draw the shot, mate. If you touch it, it's going to go on the jack anyway.
Weight's good.
Weight's good.
Weight's good.
Remember the weight, take a wider line.
Kept their composure pretty well on what's been a bit of frustration through the first 13 ends for Andrew Smith and Gary Willis. Holding one, and if that remains the case, they'll only be trailing by 1 shot.
Very important, Steve, for a team when they are struggling to
It could be your shot.
really keep encouraging one another, talking, even out loud. Let your opponents know you're feeling confident, even if you know you can play a lot better. Been very quiet, the Australians. So too the Irish, for that fact. But
Hold a bit longer.
touch on the jack would be good.
Get him right now, mate.
What's that done?
Wow, it's given the shot away.
Close, mate.
If he'd missed the front bowl and got the jack, Australia would have been holding 4. Could well be 1 down. Don't need much of a contact on a bowl on a fast green to roll it over 2 or 3 times.
Very, very close. You just need to touch your own and make sure of it, or?
We've seen that twice in this end, Shu. You make the point at a good time. We've seen that
Mark, I'm going to be tired here.
once for
Go ahead.
Ireland, once for
Press the
Australia.
ball.
and
Irish skip switching to the backhand. He's got to be very careful not to slice the jack.
On your knees, Chaz.
Good effort.
Yeah.
Good effort, maybe keeping away from it. He's got a wonderful sense of humour, Gary's got.
Is it?
I think it's used.
Oh, Australia got it.
Just really shot like that. Just takes it. Thanks so much.
They'll take it and run. 14-13.
Leave it back. Leave it back. We'll go up short here.
14-13. Anybody's match. 21 ends to be played. This is the 15th. And a little bit more confidence perhaps coming from the Australians, who've won 3 of the last 4 ends, Shuey. That's their best passage of the match.
The last 2 ends, Steve, have been a lot shorter lengths rolled as well. Mark McPeak has been leading particularly well, over 27 metres plus. Last end and this end is a lot shorter, playing to maybe 2.5 metres over minimum length. So we're looking at about 25.5 metre length, which is very short on a fast
Mark.
green. All players will be aware, Steve, of the importance now of the ends starting to run out in this match, that cannot afford to have a loose end.
Well played,
Two to Australia.
Great.
Oh, I just sense Andrew Smith starting to come good in the lead contest. Trying to keep a buoyant mood.